Nowadays, internet is creating too much of problem. Too much. To say. Hmm. Okay. So what exactly is diffraction? Try to understand. In YDSC, we were observing interference, or you can say two light rays were being incident by splitting a wavefront. Okay. In Y, two waves are being created. Two were being created using two slits. Using two slits, right? In diffraction, what we are going to do, we are actually focusing on diffraction of light. So in diffraction of light, we are going to create coherent source by one slit only. So that diffraction is called single slit diffraction. But before that, what exactly is diffraction? Okay, so try to understand. Have you ever that person saying something? You can hear his voice, but you cannot see the person. Having outside your house or your room, and that person is saying something which you can listen here, but you cannot see the person, right? Actually,
Voice is
that
breaking.
is possible due to happening due to different sound. So what is happening? Yes. Basically,
So we
what we
continue.
can, I could not hear. What did you say?
So your voice is breaking.
Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. Just a second. Okay. Just a second. Let me change the connection. Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me now? Okay. Is it better now? Is it better now? Hmm. Is it better now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So what I was telling you that if someone is standing outside and then that person is saying something, you can hear his voice, you can listen to him, but you cannot see the person. Why this is happening? because sound can be easily diffracted as compared to diffraction of light. So that gives you some hint that what exactly is diffraction. So what exactly is diffraction? Bending of a wave due to some obstacle is called diffraction. Bending, please note, this is the definition. Bending of a wave from its rectilinear path, from its rectilinear path, bending of a wave from its rectilinear path due to some obstacle, is called diffraction, of light. Okay, or you can say wave. Let us talk about wave. Later we'll be talking about specifically light. So bending of a wave from its rectilinear path due to some obstacle is called diffraction of wave. So basically it is a phenomena associated with a wave or phenomena associated with waves. Alright. A massive particle cannot undergo diffraction. If only it is a wave, then only it can get diffracted. If it is showing wave's character, then only it can get diffracted. Otherwise, it cannot get diffracted. Okay. So bending of a wave from its rectilinear path due to some obstacle is called diffraction of wave. Now let me show you one experiment which clearly tells that what happens in diffraction. So suppose this is a cardboard box. Okay, so this is a box which is made up of cardboard or anything else, and in that there is some light source. This is light. So when light is coming out, if you see, only small opening is there from which light can come out, and this is the screen. So as you all can see that light should come out only from this region and this region. So this only should be bright. Correct? Why? Because we have an obstacle, or you can say opening of this size only. And from this only this much light should come, and only that much region should be bright, which I have mentioned as bright, as per the rectilinear propagation of light. Correct? But let me tell you, in reality what happens? You get extra bright region. You get little bit extra bright region as compared to the region which is shown by orange color. So ultimately this much region is bright. Ultimately. Okay? Are you getting it? So why it is happening? It is happening due to diffraction of light. So now you can understand that the light ray which was supposed to go like this, correct? But when it is reaching at a sharp obstacle, it gets bent. In that direction. So that bending of light from its rectilinear path due to some obstacle is called diffraction of light, if we talk in terms of light. Got it? So this experiment is basically proving that how diffraction is causing more area of brightness as compared to without diffraction, which we should have got. Right? Understood? Okay. Now, what is criteria for diffraction? So, for diffraction to be observed, let me use word to occur. Okay. For diffraction to occur, wavelength of wave should be of same order as that of size of obstacle. So now what does it mean? Suppose if if your wave has wavelength of order of meters, then your obstacle should be of same size. That means it should be of order of meters. Then only diffraction will be occurred or observed. Now pay attention. When I was telling you that a person is saying something and you are able to hear what the person is saying, but you are not able to see the person. Try to understand why person can be heard but cannot be seen. Because wavelength of sound is of order of meters. Wavelength of sound is of order of meters. In our day-to-day life, obstacles are in order of meters only. Your door, wall, all these things, windows, these have size equivalent to meters. Their size is measured in meters, right? So when wavelength of sound and wavelength of obstacle, size of obstacle, these are of same order, right? Then diffraction of sound can occur easily with day-to-day objects. Now let us talk about light. We know that wavelength of light is between 4000 angstrom to 7000 angstrom. That means 4 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter to 7 into 10 to the power minus 7 meter. Right? Now you tell me how many such objects are there in day-to-day life which are of this size? Your pen? No, it is much bigger. Mobile? It is much bigger. So all these things which you use in day-to-day life, these are much bigger than wavelength of light. That's why this phenomena is not that commonly observed as you observe the diffraction of sound. Got it? Got it? So why diffraction of sound can be easily observed and light cannot, you understood? Good, good. So that is how you can talk about these things. Let us move further. Let us move further. All right. So what is diffraction? We have studied how diffraction occurs. We have studied. Now please write. Diffraction is of two types. Diffraction is of two types. Number one, Fraunhofer diffraction. Fraun, F-R-A-U-N. Fraunhofer diffraction. And number two is Fresnel diffraction. Fresnel diffraction. Okay. We'll be studying only this Fraunhofer diffraction because that is in our syllabus. Okay. Now what is Fresnel diffraction and what is Fraunhofer diffraction? When distance between source and screen is infinite, then that diffraction is called Fraunhofer diffraction. Okay. So when distance between source and screen is infinite, then such diffraction is called is called Fraunhofer diffraction. Fraunhofer diffraction. Okay, so when distance between source and screen is infinite, then such diffraction is called Fraunhofer diffraction. Now try to understand what is meaning of infinite distance. So basically that means that light rays will be coming parallel from the source. Okay, so infinite distance implies infinite distance implies or indicates that light rays come parallel to the screen. Okay, so that is the meaning of infinite distance. All right, now what is Fresnel diffraction? So when distance between source and screen is finite, when distance between source and screen is finite, when distance between source and screen is finite, then such diffraction is called Fresnel diffraction. Fresnel diffraction. All right. Okay. So we'll be talking only about Fraunhofer diffraction, and that is basically called as single slit diffraction. Okay. So please write Fraunhofer diffraction, or single slit diffraction. Fraunhofer diffraction or single slit diffraction. Correct. So try to understand what will happen in this. In this, there will be a light source. All right. So this is going to be your slit. I'll be creating a slit. This is screen. Okay. This is the slit. All right. Now be very clear. This is your light source in the background. Light source. Okay. So in YDSC, what was happening? You were creating in YDSC, you were creating two coherent sources by using two slits, right? But in diffraction or single slit diffraction, you create coherent sources using a single slit. So let me use different color. You have 1, 2 and 3. Okay, this is your central point. Let me use a different color. All right, so light rays will be going from this point. So one is going like this, another one will be going like this, All right. And the third one can be shown like this. So in this, again, if you draw perpendicular, your perpendicular will be drawn like this. If this angle is theta, how to show that? Let me use a different color. So this angle is theta, then this will also be theta. All right. This whole separation, this is D. This whole separation is D. All right. And this point is, let's say, P. So what we can see is, pay attention, D sine theta. All right. And if I take half of that, it will be D by 2 sine theta is equal to. Now if, suppose, at point P, so if minima occurs, minima means less brightness. So if minima occurs at point P, then delta x will be how much? Lambda by 2. Delta x is equal to lambda by 2, right? So d by 2 sine theta is equal to lambda by 2, correct? Now when theta is small, sine theta is equal to theta. So d by 2 theta is equal to lambda by 2. Now we'll be cancelling by 2 by 2. Okay. And that gives us theta is equal to lambda upon d. Lambda upon d. Here small d is equal to size of slit. Size of slit. Okay. Now try to understand what is theta. Theta is basically this angle in which positive light is present. Let me show you one more thing. Suppose if you draw this, it will be like this. Okay. So one theta is shown upward, almost similar theta, almost exactly similar theta will be here on this side also. And this is the region in which maximum light is present. Which region? This, from here to here. Because this is minima, this is also minima. Identical, both sides. Correct? And between those two minima, what is there? Maxima is present. And what do we mean by maxima? That means maximum light is present. All right. Everyone, please note this. Please note this. Okay. Note this, everyone. All right. So if suppose somebody asks you, tell me the width of region in which maximum light is present. So in angle terms, it will be 2 theta. In angle terms, it will be 2 theta. Why 2 theta? Let me show you. Because this is the region in which maximum light is present. Why? Because it is between this point to this point. Correct? Any doubt, any question? Good. Let me show you another thing which we'll be talking later, but let me show you. The next maxima in this case will be not that bright, and that will be formed on both sides, this side also, but that won't be that bright. So as you are going away from the central bright, intensity of maxima decreases, and it decreases sharply. It decreases sharply. Okay. So let me call this as equation 1. Equation 1 gives angular position of first dark point. Okay. For nth dark, so theta n is equal to n lambda upon d. This will be the value. Please pay attention. Okay, please pay attention. Any doubt, any question, anyone? Any doubt, any question? Good. So basically what we do in this, rather than finding position of maximas, we ultimately find points where minima is present, and using that we can find easily that where maximas are present. Okay. So please note. Please note. Okay. This point is central maxima. This point is secondary maxima. Secondary maxima. Both sides, that side also. This is secondary maxima. All right, like that. Can we move further? Okay. So let us write one more point. In diffraction, size of all maximas are not equal. In diffraction, size and intensity. Let us add that also. In diffraction, size and intensity of all maximums is not equal or are not equal. Okay. Central maximum is brightest and biggest, or you can say largest. Central maximum is biggest and brightest. Central maximum is biggest and brightest, and as we move away from central maxima, brightness, you can write in the bracket intensity, and size of maximas decrease sharply. Okay, please note everyone, please note. All right, next, maximum intensity of light. Maximum intensity of light is found in angle 2 theta. maximum intensity of light is found in angle 2 theta. Maximum intensity of light is found in angle 2 theta. All right. Okay. Can we move further? Okay. Now please write position of secondary maximum, or you can say nth secondary maximum. All right. So that gives us theta n is equal to, this is dash, dash is for bright, and that will be 2n plus 1 into lambda upon 2d. Okay. Theta n dash is equal to 2n plus 1 lambda upon 2d. Here n is equal to 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma dot dot dot. Okay, like that. Any doubt, any question? Okay. If suppose somebody asks you what will be the width of secondary maximum, can you find that? Or width of central maximum, can you find? So let us find width of central maximum. Everyone please pay attention. Here in the diagram, because we'll be referring that, our width of maximum, central maximum is this, right? If I take this distance as y, then central maximum will be 2y, right? So whatever is the value of theta, same will be the value of tan theta. Same will be the value of tan theta, right? So theta is equal to lambda upon d. Theta is equal to lambda upon d, and that is angle, mind it. So if yn be the distance of, if yn be the distance of nth minimum, nth minimum from O, central point basically, then theta n is equal to yn upon d, right? And what do we need to find? We need to find the value of distance, right? So what we can write is yn upon d is equal to, now nth minima, what was the distance? N lambda upon d. Remember, n lambda upon d here. So n lambda upon d, and that gives us yn is equal to n d lambda upon d. That comes out to be n d lambda upon d, correct? Okay. So width of central maximum, and let's call it beta naught. Beta is for fringe width and naught is for central. that will be 2 times of yn, because above and below, and that gives us beta naught is equal to 2d lambda upon d. 2d lambda upon d. Correct? So this is width of central maximum. Width of central maximum. Any doubt, any question? Anyone? All right. All right. Can we move further? Good. Question. In single slit diffraction, in single slit diffraction, capital D is equal to 2 meters, small d is equal to 10 mm, lambda is equal to 4500 angstrom. Find number 1, angular position of first minimum. Okay. Number 2, distance of first minimum from central point. Number 3, angle within which, or angle in which maximum light is present. Maximum light is present. And number 4, size of central bright. Please solve everyone quickly. Size of central bright. Everyone please solve quickly. Please give answers, everyone. These are all formula based questions, very easy. Please give answers, everyone. Sahil is saying 45 into 10 raised to power minus 6. Ved is saying 1 2 का 4. Okay. So far, 4 persons have answered. Sahil, Ved, Abitar, Darren. What about others? What about others? Okay. Pay attention, everyone. So, angular position means theta, and theta is equal to lambda upon d. So, theta will be lambda is how much? 4500 into 10 to the power minus 10 upon d is 10 mm. So 10 into 10 to the power minus 3. So that becomes, pay attention, this is 10 to the power minus 7. This will be 10 to the power minus 6. And these two, in fact these three. Are you sure it is 10 to the power minus 6? Everyone? You are giving your answers in 10 to the power minus 6. How come it is coming out to be minus 6?
So minus
क्यों?
8.
भाई -8 तो वैसे भी नहीं आ रहा है. आप लोग कर क्या रहे हैं, मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा है. थीटा इज इक्वल टू लैम्डा अपॉन डी, यस और नो? lambda is 4500 angstrom. Angstrom is this. Let me check. मेरे को लग रहा है कि मेरी कैलकुलेशन तो गड़बड़ नहीं है. So pay attention. These two zero will be getting this 10 to the power minus 8, and this will be getting 10 to the power minus 2, and this 10 to the power minus 2 will be 10 to the power minus 6. So that will be 45 into 10 to the power minus 6. Is it the answer which you are getting, everyone? Okay. And as it is in angle, so it will be in radians. It will be in radians, right? Somebody was saying 10 to the power minus 8. Who was that person? Now comes next part. Distance of first minimum from the central, right? So distance means y1 upon d is equal to theta, which we have calculated. So y1 will be capital D into theta. Capital D is how much? Capital D is 2 meters. So 2 into 45 into 10 to the power minus 6. So 2 into 45 is 90 into 10 to the power minus 6. 90 into 10 to the power minus 6, and that becomes 9 into 10 to the power minus 5 meters, right? So we have done this and we have done this. Now if we are talking about size of central bright, let me solve fourth part directly. 1 2 ka 4. So fourth part will be size, let's say that is L, and that will be 2 times of y1. So that will be 2 into 9 into 10 to the power minus 5. How much is that? 18 into 10 to the power minus 5 meters. Bayobano, this is the answer. Now comes third part. Angle in which maximum light is present. So that angle, let's say alpha, and that alpha will be 2 theta. Alpha will be 2 theta. So 2 into 45 into 10 to the power minus 6 radians. So that is 9 into 10 to the power minus 5. That will be the case. Please note, everyone. Or you can write it as 90 into 10 to the power minus 6 also. Please note, everyone. Please note. Please note. If there is any doubt, please let me know. If there is any doubt, please let me know. Only 4 persons have answered. Sahil, Ved, Apita, Darren. Only. All right. I am noticing everything. Next point. Now, what is difference between diffraction and interference? So, difference between, this is a theoretical point, and that can be asked in school. So, difference between interference and diffraction. Okay. So what is the difference between these two? Let us talk about it. This side, is interference, and that side is diffraction. So what is the difference? So number one, interference is due to superposition wave trains coming from two coherent sources. Interference occurs due to superposition of two different wave trains, or you can say wave pulse, coming from two coherent sources. Okay. Now what is diffraction? So diffraction occurs due to superposition of secondary wavelets from different parts of same wavefront. So basically, what does it mean? There you are using two slits, here you are using a single slit. That is the meaning. Now next point. In interference, or let me write directly, fringe width beta remains constant, right? In interference, in this, fringe width does not remain constant and decreases as you move away from central point. Fringe width does not remain constant and decreases as we move away from the central point. Okay, next. All maximums have same intensity. All maximas have same intensity in YTSC. In diffraction, central maxima is highest intensity, and as we move away, intensity decreases. So central maxima has maximum लिख सकते हो और highest intensity, and it decreases as we move away. Okay, next point. Here contrast between maximas and minimas is sharp. Maximas and minimas is sharp. Okay, so in case of interference, the contrast between maxima and minima is sharp, but in case of diffraction, contrast is relatively less. Here contrast between maximas and minimas is relatively poor. Relatively poor. Okay. So these are the differences between interference and diffraction. Okay. Any doubt, any question? Very good. So now let us talk about polarization. 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 So what exactly is polarization and how it can be used for different purposes? Okay. So pay attention. First of all, polarization is a phenomena exhibited by transverse wave. So it is a phenomena. It is a phenomena exhibited by by transverse waves only. Okay, so polarization is exhibited only by transverse waves. Now what are transverse waves? Transverse waves are those waves in which medium particle oscillate perpendicular to the direction of propagation of wave. Let me write that. So transverse wave, just I am repeating this. Transverse waves are such waves in which medium particles oscillate oscillate perpendicular to direction of propagation of wave. Okay, so try to understand. Let me explain this. If your wave is propagating in this direction, okay, wave means energy. So if energy is going in this direction, then medium particle will oscillate perpendicular to it like this. Okay, so how medium particles are oscillating? Let me show you. Like this, like this, like this. Okay, so medium particle is starting from this point, going here, returning back, this, and this motion continues. Tuck, 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 tuck. Okay, same way the particle which is next to it, it will also perform same type of motion. Same next particle, same next particle, same next particle, and that process continues. And what we observe becomes a wave. Okay. For example, these tides which you see on the surface of sea, these are transverse waves. When you see waves in a string, those are transverse waves. Okay. Now pay attention. Pay attention everyone, and here you need to pay more attention. If this wave is oscillating like this, then this much space is required for the wave to oscillate. This much space is required for the wave to oscillate, or you can say to pass through it without any problem. But suppose if you keep an obstacle which is of this size only, so the light, or you can say the wave, has only this much space to move, only this much space, and this portion which is above this and this portion which is below this won't be able to pass. This won't be able to pass, and this portion will get clipped. This portion will get clipped. This phenomena of clipping of amplitude of a transverse wave is called polarization. Okay. I'm talking in very vague in the sense rough term. I'm not talking very scientifically, but in a practical way. In a practical way. Okay, if you want to understand what exactly is polarization, it is the polarization, right? Suppose if you want to pass through a door and that door is bigger than your size, then you can walk through it easily, right? But suppose if you want to pass through a window which is half of your height, then you have to bend. Then you have to bend if you want to pass completely, or you have to be broken into two pieces and then those two pieces can pass. Correct? And suppose if rather than door or window, if you want to pass through a pipe I am saying, okay, then you have to crawl. Then you have to crawl. So basically what you need to do, you need to fit yourself according to the size of obstacle. According to the size of obstacle. You being a human being, you can adjust as per the requirement of door or window or pipe, but waves, whether it is light wave or any other wave, they are not humans, they are not that intelligent. So in that case what happens, the extra portion of amplitude which is there, extra amplitude which is there, it is removed, and that process of removal is called clipping, and that can be called as polarization of wave. That can be called as polarization of wave. For example, let me show you. If you are using a slit like this, okay, so from this slit, or you can say opening, so from this opening entire wave or this pulse can pass. But if this opening is not kept like this, but it is kept like this, then only this much portion can pass. These below part cannot pass and the above part cannot pass. Got it? So when these upper and below parts which are not able to pass, this will be what? Clipped. So that will be called as polarization of this wave. Okay, that will be called as polarization of wave. For example, let me show you. I am drawing different diagrams so that you can relate to it. So this is a pulse which is going, and I showed you that this is your obstacle. So if your obstacle is like this, then this pulse will be passing very comfortably. Okay, but suppose rather than keeping this obstacle like this, if your obstacle is kept like this, all right, and this is the opening, then what will happen? Beyond this line will be straight. Beyond this wire will become straight like this. Aisa. Got it? So this portion, or you can say beyond this, it is polarized. Beyond this it is polarized. In this case, polarization is not happening. Polarization is not happening. Why not happening? Because it can completely pass through it. Here polarization is happening. Polarization is happening. Okay. Now I hope you have understood. How many of you have understood this part? How many of you have understood what is polarization? Please write so that I can understand that how many of you have understood. Sahil is saying understood. Abhita is saying understood. Nathan is saying understood. Kanishka is saying understood. Ved is saying understood. All right. Deepika is saying understood. Gauravi, Melita and Rasaya. Aman, no sir. क्या अमन? क्या हुआ अमन? पुत्र, क्या हुआ तुमको? अमन. Malaika is saying understood. Farhan is saying understood. Aman, tell me what you are not able to understand. नहीं समझा क्या? कौन सा part? Which part? Which part you are not able to understand? साइश
सेकंड डायग्राम।
भाई समझो, आपके पास एक वो है, क्या बोलते हैं, वुड का व्हाट इट कैन बी कॉल्ड, फ्रेम। ठीक है, वुडन फ्रेम है आपके पास। पहले आपने उसको रखा सीधा सीधा इन वर्टिकल डायरेक्शन। इन सेकंड केस आपने उसको क्या किया? हॉरिजॉन्टल कर दिया। अमन, आई एम टॉकिंग टू यू, करेक्ट? सो जब आपने उसको हॉरिजॉन्टल कर दिया, देन द साइज विच इज लेफ्ट फॉर द वायर टू वाइब्रेट, दैट इज रिड्यूस्ड. Then the size of the wire is reduced for the vibration purpose. Got it? So बाकी जो extra part था, from that wire won't be able to pass. So that will become straight after that. That will become straight after that. Now understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your yes sir is not very strong. That means you are just giving up. Okay, ठीक है. Right? आवाज नहीं आ रहा ठीक से. Okay, let us move further. Now, why we are talking about this? So be very clear about one thing, that only transverse waves can be polarized. Longitudinal waves cannot be polarized. Why? Because for those waves, longitudinal waves, the vibration of medium particles is in the direction of propagation of wave. So अगर wave pass होके जा रहा है तो medium particles भी वहीं से निकल जाएंगे. And if that is happening, then there is no polarization of longitudinal wave. So only transverse wave can be polarized. All right, good. Now pay attention. Now we are moving towards light. Okay, this was in general polarization. Now when you talk about natural light, you have a light source. Okay, this point is representing a light source, and from this light source, light rays are going randomly in all directions. All direction means complete 3 dimensions, all directions. ऐसे and और भी आप बना सकते हो, बनाते जाओ like that. All right, so this is your natural light. In which light is moving in all directions, right? Okay, now how this natural light is represented when we talk about this phenomena of polarization? So our natural light is represented like this. Okay, this, all right. So pay attention. When natural light passes through certain substances, okay, when natural light passes through certain substances, then oscillation of light gets limited oscillation of light gets limited to a single plane. Plane means two dimensions. Okay, plane means two dimension. Natural light में क्या था? Three dimensions में. Three dimensions means all possible directions, right? So when natural light passes through certain substances, then oscillation of light gets limited to single plane. Such light is called plane polarized light. Plane polarized light. Such light is called plane polarized light. All right. Any doubt? Any question? Any question? Good. So, what is special about plane polarized light? In plane polarized light, oscillation of light or vibration of light is occurring in one plane only. In plane polarized light, oscillation or vibration of light occurs in one plane only. Got it? Earlier it was happening in three dimensions, that means all possible directions. Now it is getting in only one direction. Only one direction. All right? Okay. Now be very clear, as this phenomena is related to light, correct? So what is happening in this whole process? Your electric field vector is responding in this. Whatever the what we can say phenomena is exhibited, this phenomena when it is exhibited, it is occurring due to something happening to electric field vector, not on magnetic field vector, because we have talked earlier that for visibility, electric field vector is responsible of EM waves. That's why it is also called light vector. We have talked about it in EM waves family. All right. Now pay attention. What is use of this plane polarized light, or you can say substances which are polarizer? So you must have seen that certain players like footballers or cricketers, they spend good amount of time in ground when light is quite more, correct? Now when you are in such bright light for such a long duration of time, it becomes very problematic because so much of light is entering into your system through your eyes. If you are using polarizer, then that polarizer does what? It restricts the complete entrance of light, and only that part which is plane polarized, it enters in your system. So basically using that, what you have done, you have reduced the intensity of light which is entering into your eyes. So that is importance of plane polarized light. Brightness can be reduced. Various optical phenomena can also be created using this process of polarization. So pay attention. Suppose this is our plane polarized light. Let me just show you. This is our polarizer. We are showing it by this direction. This is polarizer. All right. we are sending our normal light. This is normal light. Okay, these dot symbols are important. So your normal light is entering from here. Normal light is entering from here. Okay, after polarizer, when this light is coming out, it is coming out like this. So we are not showing that dot here. Can you observe that? So this is your plane polarized light. This plane polarized light. Okay, so this is normal light. Yeah, ordinary light. Ordinary light. When this is passing through the polarizer, okay, what it is getting converted into? It is getting converted into plane polarized light. Okay, now there is something called analyzer. So let me show you that also. So then it is an analyzer. It is made up of some other material. And when this plane polarized light is passing through this, pay attention. This part is interesting and important also. So if this and this are parallel, then there won't be any change. Then there won't be any change, and the plane polarized light is coming out as it is. Plane polarized light is coming out as it is. Okay, but if rather than putting it like this, if you are putting it at some angle, so let me put it some angle. This I am starting from here only. This is your plane polarized light. Plane polarized light. Okay, now if you put it perpendicularly, perpendicularly means like this. Okay, then there will be no light if this is perpendicular. And what exactly is this? This is analyzer. Okay, this is analyzer. All right, let me make this slightly proper. Okay, but if this is not perpendicular, if it is at some angle, then what will happen? So this is your plane polarized light, and it is, let's say, at some angle. Okay, so this angle is, let's say, theta. This angle means this angle is 90. I am considering here this angle was 0 degree, right? Then the light which is coming out here, suppose this was I naught and this angle is theta, then this light which will be coming out, though light will be shown like this only, but its intensity will be reduced. So this light will be I is equal to I naught cos square theta. I naught cos square theta. Okay, and that law is called Malus law, or you can say Malus law. I is equal to I naught cos square theta. Okay, so if plane polarized, let me write that also. MALUS law. If plane polarized light of intensity I naught, everyone please note, of intensity I naught is being passed through an analyzer kept at angle theta, then intensity of light coming out of analyzer is given as I is equal to I naught cos square theta. Okay, this law is called Malus law. Please note everyone. Okay, please note. Okay, now here if you pay attention, if you put theta is equal to 90 degree, correct, see the case when it was perpendicular, light coming out was 0. Why? Because cos square 90 will be cos 0, correct. When theta was 0 degree, when both were parallel, complete light was coming out because of that only, correct. Let me give you a question. If plane polarized light of intensity I naught is being incident if plane polarized light of intensity I naught is being incident or not incident, is being passed through analyzer, then find the intensity of light coming out if angle is A 0 degree, B 45 degree, C 60 degree, D 90 degree. Please solve everyone. Please solve everyone. Sahil has given the answer, Darren has given the answer, Malaika has given the answer, Soham has given the answer, Ved, Lenina, Deepika, Hiba, Tanisha, Kaksha, Ketan, Sia, Hanuman, Yolan, Kisaya. What about you, Mr. Darren? Mr. Darren is the answer. Rushit, Kshitij, Richa, where are these people? Jay, Malika. All right, all right. So we have almost finished this chapter. Why I'm saying almost? Pearl has given the answer because one topic is left, and that is called Brewster's Law. It is hardly a topic of 10 minutes, but still it is left. So we'll be talking about this in the next class first, and after that we'll be moving further. Okay. Acha, you want me to do the discussion? I think we should do discussion. What do you say? Everyone, please suggest whether we should finish the portion and then do discussion of all chapters, or let's do discussion and then finish portion. Tell me. Tell me. Finish portion. Finish the chapter. Finish portion and then do discussion. Finish first. Okay. Okay, everyone. Okay. So that is enough for today.